The Wyandot, also known as the Huron, belonged to an Iroquoian-speaking group comprised of several bands originally from southern Ontario, Canada. Over time, they relocated to regions such as Michigan, Ohio, Kansas, and Oklahoma. Similar to other Iroquoian communities, the Wyandot were primarily agricultural, but they also hunted and fished for additional food sources. Women tended to crops like corn, squash, and beans, while also gathering nuts, fruits, and wild roots. Meanwhile, men handled hunting, fishing, and construction tasks, such as building houses, canoes, and tools. They resided in longhouses, resembling those of other Iroquoian tribes, within fortified villages to defend against potential attacks. Trade was a significant activity, particularly for tobacco, with neighboring tribes. Like their counterparts, the Wyandot followed a matrilineal kinship system, where children inherited status and identity from their mother's lineage. The Wyandot people encountered Europeans when the French began exploring North America in the 17th century. Upon learning about these newcomers, some Wyandot chose to engage with them, meeting them in Quebec and forming an alliance with the French in 1609. Around this period, the population of the Wyandot tribe was estimated to be around 30,000. In 1639, Jesuit missionary François du Perron described them. They are strong, all much taller than the French. Their attire consists of a beaver skin worn as a mantle over their shoulders, with shoes and leggings in winter. They carry a tobacco pouch at their back, a pipe in hand, and adorn themselves with bead necklaces and bracelets of porcelain around their necks and arms. They also hang these from their ears and hair locks. They grease their hair and faces and paint their faces with black and red streaks. At this point, their population had been greatly reduced by European diseases like measles and smallpox. The Jesuits noted their count at 20,000, spread across 32 villages with 700 houses. Although they shared Iroquois ancestry, the Wyandot had a lengthy history of conflict with the formidable Iroquois Confederacy. These hostilities persisted once the French and English entered the fur trade. The competition among numerous tribes intensified as they vied for control of this profitable industry to meet European demands. While the French aligned with the Wyandot, the Iroquois initially allied with the Dutch and later with the English. In March 1649, an Iroquois force of around 1,000 warriors invaded Wyandot territory, destroying their villages and claiming the lives of 300 individuals. Additionally, many Jesuit missionaries fell victim to the Iroquois onslaught, with survivors torching the missions to prevent their capture. This devastating assault left the surviving Wyandot community deeply shocked and terrified. By May, they opted to burn 15 of their own villages to safeguard their resources and fled as refugees to neighboring tribes. Approximately 10,000 refugees sought sanctuary on Christian Island in Lake Huron. But the harsh winter conditions led to widespread starvation. Those who endured relocated to an area near Quebec City, Canada, seeking safety and stability. Relocating to Lower Michigan and Northern Ohio in the late 17th century, the Wyandot combined with surviving Iroquois-conquered tribes, such as the Tionontati. During the French and Indian War from 1754 to 1763, the Wyandot allied with the French, opposing the British. However, they sided with the British during the American Revolution from 1775 to 1783. As the war drew to a close, the Wyandot gained a reputation as formidable warriors. In 1782, Colonel William Crawford led an expedition against them at Upper Sandusky, Ohio, but his army was defeated, and Crawford himself was burned at the stake. Captain William Wells once replied that he could capture a prisoner, but not from Sandusky, because only Wyandot lived at Sandusky, and they would not surrender alive. General Anthony Wayne had ordered Wells to go to Upper Sandusky and capture a prisoner who could provide insight into the plans of the Native American tribes. When the Northwest Indian War erupted in 1785, the United States clashed with a coalition of various Native American tribes over control of the Northwest Territory. The British supported the tribes. During the Battle of Fallen Timbers in 1794, General Anthony Wayne emerged victorious over the Wyandot and other Native American groups in Ohio. The conflict came to a close with the Treaty of Greenville in August 1795, in which the Wyandot relinquished most of their lands in Ohio. Additionally, they ceded further territory in northern Ohio and southern Michigan through the Treaty of Detroit in 1807. In 1842, due to the growing pressure of the U.S. Indian removal policy, the Wyandot were compelled to surrender their rights to their reservation at Upper Sandusky, Ohio. The subsequent year, they were relocated to a reservation in present-day Wyandot County, Kansas. Following the Civil War, the Ohio Wyandot were relocated to Oklahoma. Presently, the Wyandot are organized into 4 bands recognized in both the United States and Canada. Wyandot Nation of Kansas, approximately 400 members based in Kansas City, Kansas. Indian Nation of Wyandot, Oklahoma, a 4,300-person federally recognized tribe with its main office located in Wyandot, Oklahoma. Huron-Wendat Nation, situated just outside Quebec City in Canada, boasting approximately 3,000 members. Wyandot Nation of Anderton, based in Trenton, Michigan, with roughly 800 members. In February 1985, the U.S. government agreed to provide $5.5 million in partial compensation to descendants of the Wyandot Indians for the Treaty of 1842, which was deemed exploitative. In 1999, delegates from the scattered Wyandot groups of Quebec, Kansas, Oklahoma, and Michigan assembled at their ancestral territory in Midland, Ontario, and officially revived the Wendat Confederacy.